You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. Welcome to our news. The headlines. PF CADRE pleads guilty of assaulting a female civil servant. ROMEO KANGOMBE denies holding a clandestine meeting with PF. Government urged to formulate an SI to bar foreigners from making blocks. In international news, desperate hunt for Indonesian submarine as oxygen set to run out. And in sports news, anxiety grips rugby lovers ahead of a local derby. For the details, join me shortly after this break.
2021 has been described as a highly politically charged year. This is because every 5 years the country goes to the polls, and that 5 years elapses with only a few months remaining down to the ballot. The battlefield to appear on the ballot is becoming fertile. A lot of people are expressing interest of appearing on the ballot.
In all this, our interest is to put the duty bearers, the leaders, and those aspiring to task by asking the relevant questions.
If you're an aspiring candidate, be it councillor, mayor or member of parliament, get in touch with us to get yourself on the verdict.
We go beyond speculation in dealing with policy and governance issues. The right questions are asked to help you make a verdict.
For more details, you can call us on 0962 965883, 0979 753010, or email us info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us on Camnet TV
every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday at 17:45 hours
on a new program dubbed The Verdict.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
With the details, my name is Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga. Street vending is on the rise in the central business district of Solwezi as traders abandon the main market shelter in preference to the roadside. Several marketeers have chosen trade along the road, claiming the business is conducive as opposed to the market, as customers desire to transact with traders along Independence Avenue. However, some residents are concerned that the move is posing a danger to their lives, as an accident could occur any time due to overspeeding vehicles. Lazarus Kashimoto is appealing to the local authority to intervene before the situation worsens.
So we want to know if you have to give from Yapo. You are council give for the Shave and the protection capacity. They can't just make it safely. So, if you give up when I want to protection for paper share patoka bro.
The Human Rights Commission has observed that 2 incidents recently witnessed where a woman subjected children to alcohol point to the degradation of morals in society. He says subjecting children to intoxication is a violation of children's rights and must be condemned by well-meaning Zambians. Mr. Mulea has underscored the need for enhanced stakeholder collaboration in protecting the right of children in the country. More in this report.
Children's rights are a subsection of human rights. Apparently, children's rights include the right to health, education, family life, play and recreation, an adequate standard of living, and to be protected from abuse and harm. Children's rights cover their developmental and age-appropriate needs that change over time as the child grows up. The country has been treated to unfortunate incidents of child abuse where women subject minors to alcohol even when the right age for beer is classified as 18. Police in Kawe, Central Province, are investigating a matter of giving intoxicating liquor to a child alleged to have occurred on the 21st of April 2021 in Mukululu compound. It is alleged that a 4-year-old boy was found unconscious after he was given illicit beer, locally known as kachasu, by his mother, Patricia Mwansa, aged 17, of the same compound. Kachasu is known to be an illicit blue owing to its high alcohol content and mode of production. And just recently, police in Lusaka arrested and charged socialite Natasha Shindano, popularly known as Mrs. Kennedy, for giving intoxicating liquor to a child, which is contrary to Section 51A of the Juveniles Act Cap 53 of the laws of Zambia. And Human Rights Commission spokesperson Mwirwa Mulea is concerned over the declining moral fiber in society.
It's a violation of the rights of children, for instance, to subject them to drinking alcohol or any other intoxicating substance. But we should go beyond just looking at that aspect and find out what is the root cause of that. You'll find that there's a degeneration of morals amongst parents, where there's a lot of abuse of alcohol, and that should also be just a symptom of the pressing social challenges people are facing in society. So we need to get to the root cause of all these manifestation of violation of the rights of the children, who require special attention and protection, including care from members of society, especially from their parents. So we need to work as various stakeholders, the family members, human rights defenders, the Ministry of Social Welfare and Community Development and Social Welfare, the Zambia Police Service, to ensure that children are protected, but also that parents who engage in such vices are guided, they are counseled, they are educated in terms of protecting the rights of children.
As the saying goes, children are not things to be molded, but people to be unfolded. Hence, it is the duty of adults to help them be children and grow up into responsible citizens. Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
Minister of Labour Joyce Simukoko has disclosed that the Labour Advisory Committee is this year set to table sector-based minimum wage for sectors such as mining, information communication technology and the media. The Labour Minister says consultations into the media sector have already begun. She said this Friday morning on the occasion of the tripartite consultative Labour Council meeting held in Lusaka to discuss, among other things, the welfare of pensioners, employees, and the survival of businesses. And Zambia Congress of Trade Unions ZCTU President Shimba Nkole expressed concern that workers in Zambia have continued to face a number of challenges relating to conditions of service of employment and the increasing cost of living. Details in the following report.
They had convened to discuss labour matters affecting workers in Zambia. Ministry of Labour and other cooperating partners, among them the Zambia Congress of Trade Union, the Zambia Federation of Employees, Federation of Free Trade Union of Zambia, International Labour Organization and others had held a tripartite Labour Council meeting to discuss, among other things, the welfare of pensioners, employees and survival of businesses. And speaking at the same event, Labour Minister Joyce Simukoko says the tripartite consultative meeting provides an opportunity to discuss a number of labour-related matters that affects the many sectors in the nation.
Yeah, definitely, cost of living will go up as we go along. We expect the employers to provide leadership, and let's not take this as a reason for not doing what we are supposed to do for the workers or for the institution. But we all know that there may be challenges, and when you see your challenges, and I'm talking to the leaders here, that let's start getting ready. Let's not wait until there's a calamity. Increases. Definitely we know that we have to respect collective agreements, but as I said, let's involve all of us. Let's bring in the discussions in our institutions so that we see if it will be possible or not, so that you start discussing. You don't just wake up one morning and say we are reducing your salaries or we are not going to negotiate. So let's provide leadership. I'm appealing to the employers. No more, we shouldn't be doing a hide-and-seek situation.
Mrs. Simukoko has emphasized the need to respect labour laws in the country.
We will respect the labour laws, but where it becomes almost impossible to implement, the tripartite will be informed and we may be able to revisit or suspend certain provisions. I don't know who removed workers' education clause from the Employment Act, because I know it was there as a compulsory issue where the trade unions, out of the money they receive from the employers, most of it must go to workers' education.
And speaking at the same event, Zambia Congress of Trade Unions ZCTU President Tishimbankole echoed the challenges this association is facing, among them dwindling membership due to the impact of COVID-19.
Our union leaders are also facing huge challenges relating to dwindling membership because of the COVID-19 pandemic. They are also facing challenges from some bad employers that do not want to respect labor laws. This double challenge has put the leaders in a precarious situation, leading to reduced union dues and limiting their capacity to organize workers.
Zambia is facing a lot of social and economic challenges which require solutions like yesterday. While there has been high levels of employment in the country, there has been a sharp increase in the cost of living as prices of goods and services has been rising, which can be attributed to the rising cost of doing business in the country. Zambia Federation of Employees President Maria Ngoma says suggesting to increase wages for workers cannot be a solution, as such a move will be additional cost to business houses. This is why the association and other union leaders have called on government to play its role in addressing the current economic challenges that the country faces. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The government says any interference, disturbance, harassment, violence or attack against journalists is an infringement of media freedom and the public's right to information. Ministry of Information Permanent Secretary Amos Malupenga says government has zero tolerance to media violation. Speaking during a stakeholders meeting on the safety of journalists ahead of the August 12 polls, Mr. Malupenga has reminded the media to uphold professionalism in their reporting during the election period. Independent Broadcasting Authority Board Chairperson Mebo Mongomba has implored the media to guard against hate speech and tribal politics. And Zambia Police Deputy Police Commissioner Charity Katanga has assured to protect the media. Patrick Soko has more in the following report.
The safety of journalists is something stakeholders are trying to address in the build-up to the August 12 general elections. Journalists have a noble duty to inform, educate and entertain, but in the course of doing their works, the subject of politics has on many occasions landed them in problems. Sometimes wrongdoers do not want to be reported and end up venting their anger on the communicators. Sometimes biased reporting has put some media houses in bad light to some political parties. During the election period, the media in Zambia suffers violence from the police and political party cadres who have in the past ended up damaging expensive equipment journalists use to execute their duties. But the government does not want this bad trend to continue. During a stakeholders meeting on the safety of journalists, which was spearheaded by the Independent Broadcasting Authority, IBA, and its partners, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting Services Permanent Secretary Amos Malupenga says violence against journalists must not be entertained.
Any interference, disturbance, harassment, violence, or attack against journalists is an infringement on media freedom and the public's right to information, and has no blessings from the government. And we mean just that. This has no blessings, meaning whenever it happens, it is happening without the blessings from the government. Ladies and gentlemen, government is alive to the fact of media harassment, and one way of ensuring a self-working environment is also for our journalists to enhance ethical, responsible, and professional reporting, especially before, during, and after the elections.
IBA Board Chairperson Mebo Mungomba, has implored the media to guard against hate speech and tribal politics.
Call upon all broadcasting stations not to be used as conduits for hate speech and other tribally inclined statements, as they have a potential to bring disunity in our country. Broadcasting stations are also advised to inform the police when hosting some guests such as politicians or politically exposed persons and other personalities, so that they are assisted with second-line security of the guests, staff, and the stations as a whole.
And Deputy Inspector General of Police, Charity Katanga, assured to protect the media.
As we get to covering these campaigns 2 weeks or so from now, let's look at some of these issues to report factually, also to fully identify yourself so that you don't hide in this political party. Then you will make it easier for the police. Already through UNDP and other organizations, there have been a lot of trainings just to train our police officers to ensure that you have a duty to cover the elections, to cover the campaigns, and report truthfully about the country. So they need also to give you space.
Veteran media trainer Edom Jokoto urged media houses to invest in the safety of their members.
While we are focusing on issues of police and journalistic safety, we need to start doing our own in-house safety things. Not only investing in safe first aid, but investing in the training of people to manage the first aid and so on. The other things that we need to consider, I know many institutions invest a lot of money in hardware, the state-of-the-art studio equipment and computers and everything. But how many media organizations invest in ensuring their staff?
The take-home during the meeting was that the police and political parties must respect media freedoms and learn to coexist in respect of democracy and human rights, while journalists themselves must be ethical, objective, and professional in their reporting. Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
United Party for National Development, a member of Parliament, ROMEO KANGOMBE, has dispelled speculation that he has joined the ruling Patriotic Front. During the current political transfer window, the opposition, UPND, has lost senior party members to the PF. Among notable ones include its Mbavala and Nalikwanda members of Parliament, Ephraim Belemu and Geoffrey Lungwangwa, respectively. Others are Kalumbila constituency UPND Member of Parliament and its former spokesperson Charles Kakoma. But Mr. Kangombe says he is not ready to change camps and remains a loyal member of the UPND. He says he is optimistic that he will be readopted to recontest the Sesheke seat, adding that if he will not be selected, he will support whoever will be given a chance to represent the people. And he says his incarceration has helped him to consolidate the prison vote for the UPND, saying he is aware of the challenges the inmates face.
This coming August 12 election, if God will still keep me among the living, and if the United Party for National Development, a party of my choice, do adopt me, I will definitely step foot once again in Parliament. Now this answers the speculation that many, those that do not just wish well the people of Sesheke, but the entire country, that I'm not going to contest the coming election. The position is as it is. I'm contesting the 12th August elections, if I'll still be counted among the living, and if the United Party for National Development do adopt me. But if the party who adopt any other candidate, I will speak to the people of Sesheke to give support to whoever that the party will adopt in the coming elections.
The Zambia Qualifications Authority says it has been overwhelmed with people visiting the institution to verify their qualifications. The authority's Corporate Services Director, Ms. Ngoma, explains that currently the institution has had to attend to over 700 applications but has only managed to verify about 509 in the first quarter of 2021. Ms. Ngoma says currently the authority is working with the Electoral Commission of Zambia to ensure that the right qualifications are presented, especially by those wishing to use them for political purposes. Ms. Ngoma has meanwhile described the authority as a key institution in the economic development of the country, especially that it is responsible for the monitoring of people's qualifications. She says that in a country full of unscrupulous people, our institution has been on its toes to ensure that the organization only admits people with the right qualifications. Ms. Ngoma said this in an interview with Camnet TV News shortly after a media engagement held at Southern Sun Hotel in Lusaka.
We've had a number of people that have come through to do their verifications for qualifications. And just to mention that for ZAQUA, you do not need to walk in and to do your verification. We have a system that is working very well, and it's seamless and easy to use. So people can sit from wherever they are and do their applications, and in the end they get a certificate that they can take to the Electoral Commission of Zambia. And we have had engagements with the Electoral Commission of Zambia, and they know the certificates that are issued by ZAQUA, and they will be recognized. The exact number of how many we've received, I do not have the figure, but they're in the 700s. And we've managed to do the verification of 509 qualifications in the quarter. And of the 509 qualifications that we've done, 6 have been misrepresented. So the 6 were not recognized. So those are the figures that we have in the first quarter. Most of them that we haven't yet worked on are actually foreign qualifications. So we have had a number of challenges, especially during this COVID time, receiving responses from awarding bodies that are foreign. So that's why we have a number that are still pending.
The Association of Zambians in Concrete Block Making has joined other stakeholders who have been expressing concern over foreign dominance in the sector. Addressing the media Friday morning, Association President Elias Piri says local businesses have completely collapsed because they are failing to compete with foreigners who have huge capital and state-of-the-art machinery. Mr. Piri has wondered why government has not empowered the local block makers with machinery so that they can improve on quality as opposed to allowing foreigners to completely take over the industry. And Association Vice President Felix Lubongo has called on government to sign a statutory instrument before it is dissolved in May that will allow only the local citizens to participate in the sector. Prudence Chota has more in this report.
The booming in the block-making industry has attracted a lot of foreign investment in Zambia. Inasmuch as this is a good move, the negative impact that it has brought to the Zambian local businesses cannot be overlooked. While foreign businesses are making it big time due to huge capital and good equipment, the local businesses are shutting and families are now languishing in poverty. School children are now dropping out because their parents no longer have businesses to sustain them. This is why the Association of Zambians in Concrete Block Making are saying enough is enough and want government to intervene in the matter.
As we talk now, Zambians have been kicked out of this sector and are now roaming the streets with no source of income, failing even to take their children to school.
Kachamba block yadi 1,000. Iyo 1,000 kuti isile kugulisiwa bane is asile almost 2 months. Nikagulisako 50 kwacha, ayadi 50. nitenge 100 kwacha nije pa nyumba, nitenge 100 kwacha nipeleke ku skulu ya mwana yasira mailo futi nikachite chimozi posera cha mablogo nina 50 kwacha mmanja bantu ba mulungu batiyangane baetika.
It is arguable that quality of local-made blocks cannot be compared to that of foreign investors. The association sees it differently and says if empowered with the right equipment, quality can be improved.
Right now we are appealing to the head of state, just like Mr. Piri said. May they consider signing an SI in Parliament before they close Parliament this coming May, so that as Zambians we begin to run such businesses. We need to be protected. Have you ever wondered, have you ever asked yourselves, if my blog also wana mangira chala la kuchi, as manakula kuli ife Zambians, how could that money, how do you think that money could have bettered us Zambians? We've seen government empower our friends. Just 2 weeks ago, yes, I saw government giving out tankers. Yes. I saw government giving out buses. Yes. My suggestion is, as our members, can we be in groups so that as we approach government, that pa machine imos pa
And the other way they killed us is that these guys came with a lot of money. So they went to the quarry mine, and where they bought and made an order of 500 tons. And I, as a Zambian, I go to this quarry mine. I want to buy 30 tons. These guys tell me, no, we've got a huge order here. We cannot take your order. Maybe come after 1 month. And all that was working against me. And I am a Zambian. I'm an indigenous Zambian. I expected to be supported by our government. And I pray that our government will really support us on this one.
And Lafarge Zambia, who attended the meeting, has pledged to provide quality control to the local block makers to ensure that they produce quality blocks.
The issue of quality blocks, there's this assertion that the blocks that Zambians are making are not of good quality. And I tend to, in my opinion, I tend to disagree a bit because we've tested these blocks even from the Zambian guys that are involved in block making. Yeah. So when you engage government, they give you loans, they empower you, you get these state-of-the-art machines, you'll be able to produce blocks that are of quality. Yes. And at Lafarge, we will be glad to partner with you to monitor this quality control, of course, under some kind of an agreement.
While investment is good for any country, investment that robs from the local people should be regulated. While the Zambian economy is grappling due to lack of money in circulation, economic recovery can only be attained if money continues to be reinvested in the local economy and not always leaving the country.
King for Zambians! Debt making for Zambians!
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
We take our first set of commercials. To stay with us as we still have more interesting stories lined up for you.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Every day for me means hard work, going to sell my goods at the local market. To get more customers, I have my secret. Oracle Pure Glycerin. It's soft, smooth, and keeps my skin perfect. And my customers know it. Thank you, Oracle, for my perfect skin.
It's your friends.
I insist.
Your drama.
So you think you can talk about my dad like that? You're in charge.
And intrigue.
Are you out for good or what? What do you want? Dare you say that to me, eh?
Your heroes. It's your moment with your stories. Made at home for your home. 'Cause great stories start on DSTV.
2021 has been described as a highly politically charged year. This is because every 5 years, the country goes to the polls, and that 5 years elapses. With only a few months remaining down to the ballot, the battlefield to appear on the ballot is becoming fertile. A lot of people are expressing interest of appearing on the ballot.
In all this, our interest is to put the duty bearers, the leaders, and those aspiring to task by asking the relevant questions.
If you're an aspiring candidate, be it councillor, mayor, or member of parliament, get in touch with us to get yourself on the verdict.
We go beyond speculation in dealing with policy and governance issues. The right questions are asked to help you make a verdict.
For more details, you can call us on 0962 965883, 0979 753010, or email us info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us on Camnet TV
every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 17:45 hours
on a new program dubbed The Verdict.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. A suspected patriotic front PF cadre who is accused of harassing a female civil servant at the Ministry of Works and Supply has pleaded guilty before the Lusaka Magistrate Court for threatening violence and assault. This is in a matter in which Charles Kakula, 25, a medical records clerk, is charged with threatening violence, common assault and criminal trespass contrary to the laws of Zambia. When the matter came before Magistrate Fides Hamududu Friday morning, Kakula admitted committing all the three offences. More in this report.
Charles Kakula, the man who was seen in a video that circulated on social media harassing a female employee at the Ministry of Works and Supply, did not hesitate to deny the charge this morning when he made his first court appearance before the Lusaka's Magistrate Court. The 25-year-old medical record clerk did not in any way delay the court's time as he admitted committing the offense before Magistrate Fides Amaundu. Kakula is charged with the offense of criminal trespass, threatening violence, and common assault. Facts are that on the 13th of April 2021, the suspected PF cadre is said to have gone to the Ministry of Works and Supply and threatened Miss Shirley Chatungwa in her office by dragging her out of the office. Kakula, who was in the company of other people unknown, harassed Miss Chatungwa, and according to them, she had committed an unforgiven crime of being a member of the opposition political party, the United Party for National Development (UPND), and hence dragged her out of the office on political grounds. He further told the victim that he was going to ban her should she continue being in her office. However, this said action brought a lot of public outrage, with different stakeholders condemning the act. And after willfully and humbly admitting having committed the offense, Kakula applied for a bail, which was granted to him in the sum of 2,500 kwacha in his recognizance with 2 working sureties. Although he faces up to 15 months in jail or a fine for both crimes, he will have to wait for Monday next week to know his fate, and this is when the court will hear his mitigation and deliver sentence. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
And still in court news, Lusaka Magistrate Felix Kauma has warned the state to ensure that they are ready to commence with trial at the next sitting in a case where self-proclaimed PF commander Innocent Kalimanshi is accused of uttering defamatory remarks against Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampiongo. Magistrate Kauma expressed disappointment at the manner the state is adjourning the case without commencing with trial. In this matter, Kalimanshi is charged with one count of libel, which he denied. Allegations are that Kalimanshi on the 8th of November 2020 published defamatory matter affecting Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampiongo on WhatsApp. Kalimanshi alleged that after President Edgar Lungu decided to drop one position from the Home Affairs Minister and gave it to Kelvin Sampa, Mr. Kampiongo got annoyed and sent Kalimanshi to defame Mr. Sampa. Kalimanshi is also alleged to have accused the Home Affairs Minister of giving instructions to the police to deny him a police bond the time he was arrested for assault and gave a sack of sausages to Mr. Musonda, the criminal investigations officer, and further alleged that Kampiongo sent some people to kill him whilst he was in Johannesburg on unknown dates. Matter comes up on the 11th of May 2021 for commencement of trial. The family of the late 14-year-old Frank Mugala, who was allegedly killed by a stray bullet by a police officer on the 13th of February last year, says it remains painful to recall how he died and as he hopes for a fair verdict from the court. Speaking to journalists shortly after hearing the inquest of their relative at the Lusaka Magistrate Court, the family is optimistic that the verdict will disclose which person specifically fired the gunshot that killed Mugala. Earlier, when the inquest came before Coroner Sanford Ngovola, a forensic pathologist, Adam Muchelenganga testified that what caused the death of Frank Mugala was the wound of a gunshot from his back. He testified that the deceased was found with 2 gunshot wounds, one on his neck and the other on his back after a medical examination was conducted. The court has since set the 24th of May 2021 as date to deliver the verdict. Frank Mugala, the grade 8 Pew was shot and killed by police on the 13th of February 2020 at the school gate as he was knocking off for lunch during the gassing incidents.
Very rough, actually, because I mean, losing a son like that, I mean, in such a state or in such a way, isn't something that one can take up easily.
He was my nephew, though in Bimba Mwanawat, because that was my own brother's son. The journey from where we started to now, it hasn't been easy. We used to come as a group, but due to transport issues, people started falling out. It hasn't been easy. Till today, at least we have concluded the matter, and we are looking forward for a fair judgment. Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
The journey has been rough because there have been too much adjourned, and then the way the court has been operating, it's like it has taken long from time we started to 2021. We wish that the court thinks, if they put a case in the court, they should have enough evidence and quick enough than adjourning each and every time. So it hasn't been an easy journey. I think justice and to come out with the truth, to know what happened and who did that, despite of the state, despite of who is that person. But they should be honest with us.
Frederick Alberts, a Stiff Tang Zambia FES resident representative, Fritez Kopiskar, says despite government showing commitment to reduce poverty and vulnerability among its population, more still needs to be done. And Suspend Coordinator Susan Mwelwa has noted with concern that social protection in Africa remains low by international standards. She made the remarks during the Social Protection Policymakers Forum in Lusaka today, organized by Southern African Social Protection Experts Network Suspend and Frederick Albert, a Stiff Tang Zambia. Finance Minister Walyangandu says he has reaffirmed government's commitment to uplift the livelihood of the people towards mitigating the impact of COVID-19 and enhancement of social protection in the 2021 fiscal year. In a speech read on his behalf by the Ministry of Finance Director Budget Joseph Nonde, Dr. Ngandu says government has shown commitment to reducing poverty and vulnerability.
And when we reflect back to the past 10 years, we do see that countries in the region have significantly increased their budgets towards social protection. This can be seen by the scale-up of programs as well as the scale-up of beneficiaries. However, there's still a lot that needs to be done. And this is reflected, so apologies for that, and just don't want to miss any points. Okay, so we see that in as much as a lot has been done by governments, I'll speak from the perspective of the Zambian government, being in Zambia. We have seen how much commitment has been made towards financing social protection.
Government will continue to support the social cash transfer scheme. Government will also continue to support the food security pact, as well as other social protection programs that have been put in place. The government appreciates the non-state actors in the role towards finding mechanisms for solutions to social protections, sustainable financing, and we're willing to engage with you and continue learning more ways and newer ways of doing this with our cooperating partners. So we are very grateful that we are having this discussion here to look at such options. I wish particularly to thank the Frederick Alberts Stiff Tang and Sustain initiative for bringing us together here.
Paramount Chief Mpezeni of the Ngoni-speaking people is impressed with the improved water reticulation system, which has contributed to the reduction of waterborne diseases in Eastern Province. The traditional leader says his subjects previously suffered before several boreholes were sunk in the area. Paramount Chief Mpezeni said this when Minister of Water Development and Sanitation Environmental Protection Minister Raphael Nakachinda paid a courtesy call on him at his palace. Mr. Nakachinda is in the province working on water and sanitation developmental projects. Chief Mpezeni says people shared water points such as streams and rivers with animals, which today is a thing of the past. Mr. Nakachinda revealed that government has embarked to drill a minimum of 10 boreholes across all districts in the province, as well as rehabilitation of all dams that have collapsed.
So now they are able to come they are punctured too. Yes. Because water is readily available.
Yes.
And the Abura no Samba, is very clean. Yeah. And they can wash their uniforms, but above all, it has prevented diseases, isn't it? Ministry of Development iko na programs amene running yena niyonga zina kupasa manzi kwa ndio minonkara means tulienda tukumba visino maboho kuna Christian province kuliko wazatu wamentisaidia nao mimi watapasa kukandana kutima district yonse in Eastern province kwa mbila maybe weekend maybe mineza konkap the district is apeza kauti tapasa ko maboho kwa mbila pattern kwenda fika pa 30 so that watu wakazinkaa kwa manzi pafupi
chapenda kwa sababu tofauti kumalomba mtiki madamu kwa sema tikoza tewa tusema tikoza telega kwa manzi aya amwaliga kwa machape vuto yatina ngani ya aya madams madam so ukala kuna ile ayanga kuno bachangu kunayo madamu kuno kwa mkulibe yose anaenda na manzi so tuwesa nditu kamba kutia bwanji madamu kuno tia mbona ni madamu participate.
Medical for Quality Healthcare in Zambia, MQHZ, has cautioned traditional birth attendants against admitting and treating pregnant women with underlying conditions such as hypertension and diabetes. MQHZ Research Director Nomsa Mbunda has since urged traditional birth attendants to refer pregnant women with underlying conditions to the hospital or nearby health facilities. She says this is in order to reduce maternal and child mortality in the country. She added and pleaded with pregnant mothers to often attend prenatal care to ensure underlying conditions are identified early. Data from the Ministry of Health shows that between 2007 and 2018, Zambia has seen a 50% reduction in maternal and under 5 mortality and a 40% reduction in infant mortality. However, in the period 2014 to 2018, neonatal mortality rates increased from 24 to 27 deaths per 1,000 births.
Medical for Quality Healthcare in Zambia, MQHZ, is cautioning traditional birth attendants against admitting and treating pregnant women with underlying conditions such as hypertension, diabetes, or septic shock. We are urging traditional birth attendants to know their limits and referring pregnant women with underlying conditions to the hospital or nearby conventional health facility in order to reduce maternal and child mortality in the country. Maternal death is highly preventable if pregnant women have access to quality health care during, before, and after childbirth. No woman should die during childbirth. Every woman is expected to experience a healthy pregnancy, safe delivery, and a healthy baby. We therefore plead with all pregnant mothers to regularly attend prenatal care to ensure their underlying conditions are identified early and ensure they deliver from established conventional health facilities across the country to avoid the risk of complications and maternal death. The life of every woman counts, and thus no woman should die whilst giving life.
We take another set of commercials. Do stay with us as we still have international and sports news. Don't go away.
In this fast-paced era of industrial boom and population growth, there is need to invest in smart ways of managing electricity and water consumption and reducing utility billing costs associated with the postpaid billing system. At Savenda Electronics, we manufacture right here in Zambia different types of high-quality smart electricity and water meters to customer specifications. Savenda Electronics water and electricity meters help you monitor your usage and gives notifications such as low units, tampering, low battery, and many other features. These easy-to-use meters makes it easier to buy units even in these COVID times and top up just from the comfort of your space. Favorable contract terms are available to both electricity and water utilities. For more details, get in touch with us on the following numbers: 0956 580 349 or 0977 498 318. Savenda Electronics, the real deal.
Find all the answers on GoTV this weekend. Join the search for Pablo Escobar's millions using the latest technology. Learn new songs while making new friends with Berry and Dolly. And who better to solve all your problems than Judge Judy? GoTV. Love it.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. In international news, the Democratic Republic of Congo is making a claim for billions as it accuses Uganda of barbarity over a brutal war 20 years ago. The accusation was made at the UN's top court with Kampala, telling the International Court of Justice that the suffering of 1998 to 2003 war was ruining. At the hearing at the Hague-based court Tuesday, Uganda's Attorney General rejected the staggering demands by Kinshasa. Still in international news, head of the Indonesian Navy says a missing submarine with 53 sailors on board will run out of oxygen by Saturday. A search and rescue operation is underway where an oil spill has been spotted off the coast of Indonesia's military says sailors on its missing submarine may only have enough oxygen to last until Saturday morning. We have more as we monitor Al Jazeera.
The DR Congo is making a claim for billions as it accuses Uganda of barbarity over a brutal war 20 years ago. The accusations were made at the UN's top court, with Kampala telling the International Court of Justice the suffering of the 1998-2003 war was, quote, ruining us.
As a matter of international law and state practice, Uganda considered the DRC's unbending demands to be both unfounded and excessive in the extreme. What has changed after the DRC revived the case? Nothing, except that the DRC reduced its demand from roughly US dollars 23.5 to almost US dollars 13.5 billion. This significant drop only confirms that the DRC's claims are rooted in tactics, not reality.
The court had ruled in 2005 that Uganda had to pay Kinshasa reparations for invading a territory during the war, leaving 3 million people dead.
In Indonesia, this rescue operation grows more urgent as the hours pass. 53 people were on board the KRI Nanggala 402 when it went missing, somewhere in the waters near the island of Bali. The submarine has been in service for 40 years. Its crew was taking part in a training exercise when it lost contact in the early hours of Wednesday morning.
Until now, we still have not had contact with a submarine KRI Nanggala, while the search is being done intensively.
Indonesian authorities requested help from the country's nearest neighbours.
Penawaran bantuan
Assistance from neighboring countries includes Singapore in the form of the Swift rescue ship. It's a submarine rescue ship.
Malaysian soldiers are on board a rescue vessel and expected to reach Indonesia in a few days. And the Australian government has also offered to provide assistance.
It is not a submarine that Australia operates. Our submarine class is quite different. But whatever we are able to do, we have undertaken to do.
Indonesian military personnel spotted an oil slick in the sea, which officials say could indicate a fuel leak. Time is now at a critical stage in the rescue operation.
The oxygen in a blackout condition can last for 72 hours or 3 days, so that if contact was lost at 3 o'clock, the oxygen will last until Saturday at 3 o'clock.
Authorities say the submarine was in good condition, suitable for combat. It underwent refitting in South Korea and was returned to Indonesia in 2012. This is the first case of a missing submarine for Indonesia, but fatal accidents involving military equipment are common. The KRI Nanggala 402 was built in the late 70s in Germany and has been in service in Indonesia since 1981. Defence experts have long called for a major overhaul of some of the country's ageing military equipment. Indonesia is looking to expand and upgrade its submarine fleet in coming years, but experts say the task should be treated with urgency.
I'm not saying our maintenance is not good, but accidents have happened here many times, especially when it comes to old military equipment.
As the search continues, investigators are asking how a routine drill turned into a major crisis for Indonesia's Navy. Jessica Washington, Al Jazeera, Jakarta.
We get into sports news. The 2021 rugby season Saturday enters week 5 with a mouth-watering derby between Lusaka Powerhouse and Red Arrows. Zambia Rugby Union Communications Officer Tom Chalola says the match, which will be played at the Yota Mulea Stadium, will be one of the 2021 rugby highlights, considering that the two teams are all enjoying good form. Chalola has since advised rugby lovers to ensure that they adhere to the health guidelines put in place in the fight against the coronavirus as they troop to the stadium. He has further elated with the support. He further says he is elated with the support the sport is receiving from the public, though more still needs to be done.
The Lusaka Derby, which beat Lusaka Rugby Club and Red Arrows Rugby Club, will be one of the highlights of this weekend, if not one of the highlights of the 2021 rugby season. This is because Lusaka this year have really beefed up their squad. They are playing very good rugby. Coach Ruben and his technical bench have set up some very good tactics which are quite insurmountable, if you will. So they've been playing some very good rugby. They've caused a few upsets here and there among the so-called powerhouses of the nation in the past few weeks. Despite them going down in Mufulira this past weekend. But yeah, they are really on a roller coaster. They are causing a lot of upsets. And Red Arrows obviously have been on rampage. So far, they've not recorded any draw. They've not recorded any loss. Actually, they've recorded one draw this past weekend against Nkwazi. So it means they've been on rampage as well. They are playing very good rugby, very physical kind of play, and they are almost unstoppable. They've been delayed in the past weekend, but yeah, they are unstoppable in as far as their form is concerned. So this actually means that this weekend's encounter between the two teams at Yota Mulea.
That sports item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of the headlines. PF CADRE pleads guilty of assaulting a female civil servant. ROMEO KANGOMBE denies holding clandestine meeting with PF. Government urged to formulate an SI to bar foreigners from making blocks. In international news, desperate hunt for Indonesian submarine as oxygen set to run out. And in sports news, anxiety grips rugby lovers ahead of a local derby. The Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of Romans 13, verse 9 to 10, and it reads, "Do not commit adultery, do not murder, do not steal, do not convert, and whatever other commandment, all are summed up by this: love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no wrong to a neighbor. Love, therefore, is the fulfillment of the law." On behalf of the entire news production crew and myself, Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga, thank you so much for watching Camnet TV News on Camnet TV, not just another channel.